Bruises and cheers. I want to tell y'all about how Qigong can connect you to nature and self really well. All right. Let this be something that you take with you and rewatch a couple times. Bruises and cheers, family. So, in Smaikawi Kemet or Tamare, also known as the Egyptian area, and all of the Kushite and Hindu Empire, and the Nubian Empire, all the way to the east, the farthest east, there was something known as the masculine Ba, the masculine based Ba. In Taoism, this is called the Yang Shin. All right. So we see the world that we live in, we see nature that we live in, and we only see it most of the time from a state of never doing any alchemy or surrendering. We only see it from the lens of the mind, which is, most of the time for most people, just the software protection program. The mind originally was created so that you cannot be hacked by viruses, in the computer of consciousness. And so when we see a decline of humanity, we see an identity to the mind being true self, or the software virus protection program being the true self. We see an identity increase in that, and that decreases human intelligence. Because imagine if all day long you were on the computer, all you were doing was doing what that software program was meant to do for you. Imagine how much non-internet usage and non-exploration of consciousness. And we're just imagine GPT 2000. You know what I mean? That's real. That's how far our consciousness can go. Imagine not being able to use that and only focusing on virus protection. That's how most people look around and they see life and they see this physicality as. They don't see it as a whole computer of consciousness to be used. And so pretty much when you are able to use the ultimate amount of nature, you are converting that Yang Shin, that masculine Ba, into Yang Shin into Tao, the supreme Tao, and the masculine Ba into meta nature. And how do you even get to that Yang Shin? Well, to get to that Yang Shin, that masculine Ba, you have to go through the levels of alchemy, the levels of surrender to get there. And this world would rather, just to let you know, this world would rather stay as just being software protection because there's so much fear in this world, rather than doing the alchemy to upgrade the iOS system of the actual computer and actually change the screen, literally change the screen, change the filter of the LED screen on that computer, and experience a vast array of the internet, or what we know as the Ethernet. All 9 levels of 9 ether, all 9 levels of 9 samadhis, All right. I've created the Lemurian nine path, ninefold of the Pharaoh, just so that we can see it all for how much alchemy and a great foundation of how much alchemy there really is to be done on this earth, and to be able to bask in that every single day of, like, all these vices that we have in this reality are just boredom because we don't have the foundation of alchemy, the foundation of surrender. We don't have that map. That's the foundation of the vices. But when you have the map to being able to use the computer, the cosmic intelligence, the metanetter, the Tao, it's infinite avatar mode at that point. It's infinite alien mode at that point. You get to travel the cosmos step by step to get to that point where you become very skilled in it, just like any other game, right? So, in Qigong, the whole purpose of Qigong goes in these steps. It's this internal alchemy that is a golden flower blossom. The first step is cultivating a Dantian. Alright? That Dantian needs to be cultivated. The lower Dantian needs to be cultivated first. You have 3 Dantians, 3 heavenly treasures. The lower one needs to be cultivated first, and the blood and the lymph and the tissues need to be cleansed. From that Dantian, you build up your Jing. Your Jing is like a vibrational essence that moves through the body fluids. From there, you convert that Jing into more Qi. So to even build the Jing, you have to even know what the Qi is, and know the Qi in the breath, and know the Qi that's in the Yi or the mind, and sink that into the Jing in the Dantian, and build it, and then convert that Jing into more of this vibrational essence that now in the Qi floats through the medium of gases more and more. Then from there, you move on from gas to spirit fire plasma, which is the Shin. Alright? In Kemetic language, we're saying the Jing is the Mer, the Ka is the Chi, and the Ba is the Shin. Alright? So you're converting Mer into Ka, Ka into Ba, Merkaba. Alright? Governing channels, functioning channels. The fire path, the water path. Alright? The ascending phoenix, the descending serpent. Dragon. Water dragon. Alright? The microcosmic orbit and the macrocosmic orbit. Alright? And so you use the Merkaba and the 2 triangles that make the Merkaba, right? The masculine goes up, the feminine goes down, right? And you're creating Merkaba to create more Mer, more Ka, and more Ba. And then you get to the feminine based Ba, which is the Yin Shin. Right? And you understand the Yin Shin for what it really is. This is where you will find all of your different types of religious gods at, in this Yin Shin. And the more that you merge with the Yin Shin, the more that you get to see how much you are really not any of that software protection program. Like, that's only a small part of the computer, and how much you really are the Ethernet. You are the Ethernet. You are the internet. You are the Ethernet. And you get to see that more and more. And to go even past all the deities and the gods that live in that yin shin, you attract and awaken the yang shin, the masculine shin, the masculine, the yang ba. You awaken that, activate it, and grow it. The more that you grow it, the more that you are attached to the fullness of the Tao, the fullness of the Meta Netter, and you are able to practically get into the highest levels of nothingness. You know what I mean? Because you can't, like, if you are talking about a super computer, the supreme computer, what it can do is limitless. So you can never actually put a name on it. So that's why the only name that you couldn't actually put on it would just be, you couldn't put a name on it, you call it nothingness. And that's the true self that the world doesn't see the lens through. They only see the lens through that non-alchemy. All that we just talked about, they haven't done any of that. And this is where also the different levels of the Buddha body are at, where they are tapping into these 1 through 9 levels of samadhi, 1 through 9 levels of ether. And the world doesn't see any of that. The world doesn't see anything but that software protection system that they call the mind. And so, as we are cultivating what the mind is, and the mind will be the hardest part of this journey, understanding the true essence of the mind and what the mind really is, or for another way to put it, what consciousness really is, will be the true hardest part of this journey. No doubt about it. Opening up your channels, cultivating the energy, that's a challenging part. Always worth it. But a challenging part, but it won't be the hardest part. The hardest part will truly be understanding the mind and consciousness for what it really is. But literally, as you understand it, the funner the game is, the less boring the world is. The more you see the world for its true potential of being an Ethernet, rather than the world just being a software protection system from viruses. So, this is what Qigong is all about. This is what Tantra is all about. This is what sexuality in Tantra is actually all about. But they're not going to tell you these types of doctrines are what Tantra is. They're not going to tell you what these types of doctrines are, what Qigong is. Because it's scary to that software protection system. Because the software protection system is very insecure. So to have you understand these modalities would be great for yourself and your soul. But, in the world where everything man-made is created by that virus protection software mindset, a lot of stuff won't get through that it won't pass. It won't pass the check. It won't pass the check-in. And so, anytime that somebody's telling you about Tantra or Qigong or meditation or yoga or spirituality or psychology or science, they're not talking about neuromelanin, neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, that allows you to have a funner and funner life play the game more and more and enter into immortal states of the game, you just got to know what time it is, and know that there is a lot of spiritual loosh, a lot of spiritual distractions in the world. And for you to tap into the boundless Ethernet one time and really open up to seeing that, wow, yeah, all this is about filters, and filters are masks that I put on to protect myself from these viruses. As a child, I had to set up this software system because of all the trauma that goes into even being a child, with all these adults that are just virus protector based program, very robotic machinery like things, and I'm a child that really wants to play. It's good to know that there's a lot of distractions from this, but you can cultivate this as much as you want, hours and hours and hours a day. And the more that you cultivate this, the more that every single day becomes funner. And then in those hours where you're not cultivating and you're just embracing watchfulness of the world for what it truly is, because as much as you are the intelligence, you also are just the watcher of that screen of what's going on inside of the computer, the supreme most high computer. You are that itself, and you are the watcher of that. You are the perceiver of that. So the more that you get to embrace watchfulness, the more that it just becomes more and more fun, because you're working on a higher system of intelligence. So it's pretty much that simple. Like these are all forms of meditations. Like pretty much meditation means to die so that you can rebirth into higher intelligence. So you can meditate as much as you want, as many hours as you want every single day. Tap into the Ethernet every single day as much as you want. And there's ways to go about the alchemy that is taught in the Qigong, in the Tantra. The true Tantra, the true Qigong. There's the false Tantra, there's the false Qigong. And of course, there's different words for the true Tantra and the true Qigong. Yet, those words won't be popular. Negong, Nedon, Waidon, Shingong, right? Raha Tantra. These are truer words to what's really going on. Yet, the virus protection software system, doesn't want to deal with that much alchemy because there's risks involved. Because now the mind has to die and get rebirthed into a stronger software protection system. It has to be, it pretty much roamed free, and now it has to get back into its correct structure of like, this is all you do. You don't have to be all of self. You're just here as a left brain, left mind to make things smooth for me, so I'm protected, so I can keep on experiencing playing the game. I need to experience though and watch the game without you running the show. So that's pretty much what it's about. When I and some of my other brothers and sisters in the future teach Qigong, we will be teaching it from this foundation and giving you a roadmap to what spiritual cultivation really looks like. So your mind can chill, be at rest, always have something to bounce off of and reflect off of, and watch the physical body change. That's where the Jing is at. But also the physical body deals with gases. The physical body deals with light and Shin, which is that spirit fire, that consciousness. And so that all changes, and you get to watch the mutation of all that change and have a foundational roadmap to it all, a treasure map to it all, to consciousness, to the mind, to psychology, to health. all right, to spirituality. And if it's not that, you know, what is it? I think we've already discussed that. What is it? It is that virus protection software system that only shows you nature from being in defense mode about everything, rather than being the one that can see the inside of the body for its Ethernet, and at the same time see the inside of all things individually for their Ethernet as well, and just be able to watch endless epic movies of animation. So praises and cheers. Till next now, enjoy yourself, cultivate strongly.